Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are across the globe that you are listening to me. We all know that in the past few days uh, in Africa, particularly in Nigeria, there is a boiling as we mourn the unnecessary, untimely, undeserved exit of Osinachi Nwachukwu, a woman who died in her prime age. I wish she just slept and was just sick and she died. But to this wicked sin again, domestic abuse. There's been a lot of statements, a lot of comments, which I believe that people are not saying it to judge her. It's just that everybody is just boiling and angry that we wish she spoke out. True, I really wish she spoke out. But truly, even if she has spoken out, we cannot really predict what could have happened, because she was a very prominent person. If she exited that marriage at that time and left her husband, there are many other things that could have happened to her apart from the help that she can receive. If not all, many of those churches who are inviting her today, they wouldn't have invited her again. They will stop inviting her. Then many will nail her on the cross. Now, what is she doing? Which ministry is she doing? Her home is number one. And forgets about even the torture she could go through from friends, even from families. So we really don't know what the situation could have been. Anyway, we hurt. I really hurt, and I'm still hurting because of this case. It pains me so much. The mother in me is still crying, looking out for, I can't say a revenge, but a way out, at least to prevent future occurrence. Because it's only our own we know, because she was a prominent woman. There are many other women who are dying of the same issue, unnoticed, unknown. Sometimes ago, a man bombed his wife and packed her inside a car boot. Oh my God. Well, I'm not here to tell the stories of how many of those bad cases we have recorded that we hear about. Life stories. But what can we do to make sure that these things do not happen again? And many of us have said she should leave. Yes, it is true. She could have left. She actually probably desired to leave. But many times we tell them to leave, we don't tell them how to leave. How many of us stand with them after we push them out? Leave. Let them leave today. By tomorrow, nobody wants to identify with them. Very few would like to identify with them. So it's not enough to leave, to tell them leave. They need to know how to leave. And then when they leave, where are they leaving to? What happens after leaving? Because life is not just that rosy outside your marriage. It comes with its own challenges and many things. So as I began to ask myself these questions, I just decided that, well, even though I wasn't fully prepared to share my story seriously before, but I think this is the time. I want to make my own contribution to the life of women who hurt. Just not only reading the Bible to them, I want to tell them how I have been able to interpret the scriptures to be of help to me, and which make me a victor and not a victim. Many of you that know me, you know that, well, by the mercies of the Lord, I am a survivor of domestic abuse. And not just a survivor, by the grace of God, I've gone beyond the level of survival. I have thrived, and now I'm a flourishing. There are 4 stages of domestic abuse: the denial and the victim stage, where you are just sit there, then the surviving stage, the thriving stage, and the thriving stage. And at that time, you are no longer afraid. You are not ashamed to tell your story, and you are now actually leaving legacies to help others by the mercies of the Lord, not by my smartness. I could have been as dead as that woman is. You will hear my stories as I begin to tell them. So, by the grace of God, I have decided I want to see, as Jesus said, with the comforts that you have received, comfort others. If I can be of help with my story. And you all know I've been doing bouncing back. It's been a generic bouncing back, but this time I want to specifically begin to handle bouncing back from domestic abuse, using my life as a story, case study, whatever you want to call it. I want to share a bit of my experience in each of the episodes to tell you what it feels like to be an abused woman, and how do I get out of it, and even getting out of it, what happens? How do I stay and still maintain my integrity as a woman and my dignity, even as a single woman? You would like to see this is my experience. This episode, this bouncing back is going to be addressing 2 group of people. First, women who are in need, who are going through domestic abuse, and you are finding a way out. Then secondly, the service providers, especially the church. How can we be of help to these women? I want to let us know that it's not exiting a relationship does not mean it's the end of the relationship. If there had been many of these situations have been salvaged earlier on, the marriage could have been intact. I've said this several times. If I knew what I know today, I will not be where I am today in terms of my marriage. So, please stay with me. If you think you would like to benefit, or you like to hear my story, or you are just interested in being helped, please, you can subscribe to my channel. Just subscribe, and please also help me share this to so many people as you can share this to. Share it to them. Let them know that I want to tell them something that may be of help. It is better, it's easier said. Live. It's not easy to live. I need to tell you that. And also, if you want to live, how do I live? Where do I live to? Then we are telling them live, what do we do to help them to live? Live, and there is a way you can make them live without completely ending their marriage. All this, we're going to be talking about it. But meanwhile, as we mourn the exit of this woman, I pray that the Lord will take care of our children, and our children will not live as bitter people. And I pray that the exit of this woman will be a new dawn for many, many women. And God will raise many people up that we can help others, so that we would not continue to have this scandal. A lot of stone have been thrown against the church. And this is high time also our church leaders rose up to address this issue. The church is already under so many attacks. Some of the accusations are true, some are not true. But we don't have to open the door all the time. Church. And these things are just there in the church. We can close the door against every dirty sense that have been said against us as the church. Myself being a church person, I'm a church person. I love the church The church is my domain. I'm a woman of God. I'm a servant of the living God. I'm a daughter of God. I hurt when they insult my God. So please, those of us who are kept as custodians of the church, we need to rise up to do things that will bring glory to the name of the one who keeps us there. Meanwhile, please just press the subscribe button as you wait for us all together to discuss and hear my story. Maybe you'll be able to learn one of two things. Bouncing back, don't forget, it doesn't matter how deep you are falling. There is no limit to your rising. It's just a matter of your decision, how far you want to go and what price you are willing to pay. Bouncing back. I'll soon see you. Thank you.
Even when you fail, it's not